Hey, brothers and sisters. So the question I want to pose today is, now that the feast days have passed, how many shall last? Let me repeat that again. Now that the feast days have passed, how many shall last? Now, that is not to say that us observing the feast days and, the calculations that people have come up with, because I myself did a video on the Feast of Tabernacles and compared it to the Rapture. We definitely see Rapture terminology and typology in the feast days, and I believe that was intentional. I believe the Lord obviously wanted us to look deeper. God is not surprised, right? He knows the end from the beginning, and so He knows how to stir up the church in these last days. One conviction that I have had, even before all these high watch dates and the feast days, is that I truly believe the rapture will happen before 2021 is over. Because it says in 1 Thessalonians 5 that we'll know the seasons, right? Now, regarding the specific days, every day we've been looking at regarding the feasts, the fall feasts, have definitely pointed to a rapture scenario. And we've all gotten really excited about it. But the question is, now that these feast days have passed, how many will last? And the reason I ask that question is, Jesus poses a question in Luke chapter 18. And He says, when the Son of Man returns, will He really find faith on the earth? And He also warns us to not let anybody steal our crown. Now, what crown in particular is He talking about? I believe He's talking about the crown of righteousness, because the crown of righteousness belongs to those who are longing or love His appearing, right? Those of us who are so happy about the possibility of the Lord returning any moment, we will be given the crown of righteousness. So the fact that the crown could possibly be stolen from us suggests that we will go through trials. In a period of time, we will be dejected, depressed, and wondering, well, is Jesus really coming? Well, all these high rapture watch dates have passed. We're in the month of November now, and everything that's projected is doom and gloom. This dark winter, this time of famine and hyperinflation and EMP attacks. But God says in Luke chapter 18 that men ought always to pray and not lose heart. He knew there would come a time, brothers and sisters, when the season would be revealed to those watching, but also a possibility when we would get straight up worn out, in a time when spiritual attack would intensify like no other. I know I have been pummeled with the fiery darts of doubt. Now, I have this conviction that I have had for 16 years since I've been saved, that the rapture is pre-tribulation. That the scripture is clear that we are not destined for wrath. We are not destined for the tribulation. We are destined for salvation, right? The church is already repentant. We don't need to go through this Jacob's trouble, right? This is a time when God pours out His wrath and shakes the earth so that men will wake up. We're already of the day. We're not of the night. The tribulation is for those who are of the night, in which it comes like a thief. Jesus breaks in and steals His elect, His gems from the earth like a thief. We're going to be well aware of that season, brothers and sisters. And I believe that when Jesus says He comes at an hour we least expect, well, we know the season, right? But we won't know the precise hour. And I think as the days of Noah are, so the Son of Man is, He's going to come when, man, it just seems like nothing really is happening. Like, yeah, we see the earthquakes, we see the volcanoes, we see the increase of wickedness, we see the world leaders gathering together, trying to build this global Antichrist system. We see lawlessness abounding, but we don't necessarily see anything that would point to tribulation happening right now. But I don't think that's true, right? Because I think the tribulation is casting its shadow on us right now. And I think the fullness of the Gentiles is just about ready to be complete. So He says, watch for an hour you least expect, because with all these feast days, with all of these high rapture watch dates, there's going to be many who say, I'm done watching, I'm out, I'm sick of these watchmen, they promise this and they never come through. See, this is why no man knows the day or the hour. This is why Jesus said this, so people wouldn't get led astray. But I don't think that's true, brothers and sisters. I think this was intentional. I think the Lord wanted those who are serious to dig into the scriptures. And as Daniel says, to run to and fro, and knowledge will increase, right? He wants those who are looking intently to look at these things and then to keep looking even though they pass, right? His coming is imminent for his church. It could literally happen any day. It doesn't have to happen on a calculation of our own making. Now, these are all very interesting calculations, very interesting typologies in the feast days. But brothers and sisters, do not lose hope. And even if 2021 were to pass, God forbid, we're told to keep looking, right? We're told to keep persevering. So I just wanted to share that with you, with my thoughts, with what's going on, to stir one another up, and all the more as we see the day approaching. God bless.